Wonder, the one thing we often think the most about, is also the parts we keep hidden inside. But wonder isn't meant to stay buried in the corners of our minds. Even though it can feel daunting to embrace our curiosities and share them with the world, we owe it to ourselves to honor them. These sparks of wonder are not random. It's our intuition guiding us on what matters. What if the spark you thought you lost, the one that lit up your dreams and made the world feel full of possibility, wasn't gone? What if it was just waiting to be reignited? Remember when stuffed animals weren't just toys, but companions on incredible adventures? Or when dolls and action figures became stars of the worlds you created? With just a few simple tools, you built entire universes powered by wonder and curiosity. As kids, our imaginations were limitless, but somewhere along the way, we stopped asking what if, and got stuck in the rhythm of what's next. The spark of wonder that once lit up our lives starts to dim, and life begins to feel like a series of tasks to complete. For years, I chased a vision of success, working towards a goal I believed would bring clarity and fulfillment. I pushed forward thinking that once I arrived, everything would make sense. And then I arrived. And instead of feeling clarity, I felt something unexpected. A new set of questions. What if this wasn't the only path for me? What if there were other possibilities I had yet to explore? Maybe you felt this too, working tirelessly toward a goal only to reach it and realize you're still searching for more. As a child, I envisioned living countless lives, a teacher shaping young minds, a lawyer fighting for justice, an entrepreneur hoping to build something meaningful. Each path felt exciting and full of possibility. What I've come to realize is that my desire to explore multiple paths isn't a sign of indecision, but rather a reflection of curiosity. The same curiosity that fueled me as a child is still here today, guiding me forward. And success. I'm learning that success is not a single fixed destination, and I'm learning to embrace its evolution. When I looked closer, I saw a common thread in everything I was drawn to: connection. Whether I was meant to be in the classroom, the courtroom, or the boardroom, what I realized was the title didn't matter. It was the people, the conversations, and the moments of shared understanding. That was my spark of wonder. And when we allow ourselves to follow these sparks and embrace the curiosities that nudge us towards new possibilities, we begin to see and realize that wonder is something we never lose. It's something we rediscover again and again. Wonder fuels creativity, curiosity, and connection. It allows us to see the extraordinary in the everyday and imagine possibilities beyond what we think is possible. But in the grind of adult life, the spark often fades, buried into routine, responsibilities, and the pressure to keep moving forward. Reigniting our spark of wonder isn't just nostalgia. It's essential and transformative. When we reclaim wonder, everything shifts. It opens doors we never noticed. It sparks ideas we never considered. It brings us back to what truly lights us up. Because wonder doesn't just shape the way we dream, it shapes the way we live. So with that, I bring forward this question: how can we intentionally reignite the spark of wonder? To answer that, let's explore the powerful relationship between three strong forces: spark, wonder, and curiosity. Three forces that shape not only how we see the world, but how we engage with it. It all begins with a spark, the moment when something grabs your attention. It can be an idea, a conversation, or even just a feeling. A spark ignites something from within. But a spark alone is not enough, and that's where wonder comes in. Wonder is the bridge between inspiration and action. It makes us pause, question, and imagine all the possibilities. Wonder keeps the spark alive. And then curiosity. Curiosity is what propels us forward. It makes us and encourages us to seek out answers, explore further, and discover deeper. These three forces don't work in isolation. They fuel each other in a continuous cycle. A spark ignites your interest, wonder keeps you engaged, and curiosity propels you forward. And the more we engage with this cycle, the more we grow, discover, and create. And this ultimately leads to something much bigger than just learning. It leads to deeper fulfillment. It reminds us of who we are and guides us on what we're meant to contribute in this world. How do we lose sight of this wonder? As we grow up, we often trade the curiosities of why for the urgency of what's next, and in that shift, something priceless slips away. The spark of wonder fades in a world constantly demanding our attention. With the flood of information, overwhelming expectations, and endless to-do lists, our minds race from morning to night. We tell ourselves, convince ourselves even, that we'll pause and reflect later. But does that moment ever come? Over time, this noise crowds out the space where wonder used to live. It's not that wonder disappears, but it gets pushed aside, overshadowed by everything else competing for our attention. The more we get caught up in the rush, the more we forget to pause and appreciate the small moments that spark creativity and growth. Slowly, wonder becomes less of a priority, and we stop noticing how much it shapes the way we see the world. So the real question is, how can we intentionally reignite this spark that once fueled us? Have you noticed our best ideas often come to us when we least expect them? In the shower, while drinking coffee, or right before we fall asleep. This is because we finally, and I mean finally, create room for stillness, allowing our minds to wander and creating space to connect the dots. Here are 3 steps we can take today to intentionally reignite this spark of wonder. First, pause and reflect. Create moments of stillness, whether it's through mindfulness, journaling, or simply letting your mind wander. Take time to rest, reflect, and reconnect with your inner sparks. 2, nurture the sparks. When inspiration strikes, don't let it slip away. Jot down your ideas, no matter how small, and trust that each step forward builds momentum. And lastly, trust the journey. Follow your intuition. It may feel scary, but these sparks are leading you somewhere important. So with that, I wholeheartedly encourage all of us here to take time to reconnect with your inner sparks, nurture them, share them with others, watch them spread, because when we do, we don't just dream differently, we live differently. Thank you.